Great. Oh my God. Guys, I want you everybody to welcome Nikkia to our Be Inspired segment. Oh my God, guys. So I met Nikkia on Facebook and I was watching her for a minute because she does live on Facebook and everything, and she kind of shares her story, a lot of different stories. I was like, I love this girl. Like, she is so real, straight to the point. She's motivating, she's inspiring, and, she might have a couple gems that she wants to drop on us tonight. So I was just like, I need her. Like, I need her to come on. So,
No problem.
oh my God. When I asked you to come on, you were like, let's get it. And
Let's get it. Yeah. I think, I'm going to say what I said before. I just think everything is so dope. Anytime you can find a platform to where you can bring women together, to where you can bring people together in a positive way, like, I'm all in. So when you asked me, it was like, no hesitation. Let's do it. No.
Love it. For those that are listening and for those that are coming on, of course, share out the live and let everybody know that we're in here talking. If you have any question, please drop it in the chat and we'll get to it at the end. If you have anything that you want to ask, just go ahead and drop it in the chat. So before we start, I'm gonna let Nikkia introduce herself. Who is Nikkia?
Who is Nikkia? Oh my God. That is such a great question. So, I'm an everyday woman. I think people look at me now and, after my transformation, which you and I will go through, and I think they think I'm this. Sometimes they think you're not real, and I try to tell women I go through the same things you go through. I go through the same stresses, the same struggles, the same heartbreaks, the same, everything that everyone goes through. So, I'm a mom. I am a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm gonna drop this bomb on your show, so you're the first to hear it. I'm in a relationship, which is beautiful, and I never really discuss my personal life, but I want to be real with your audience and and let them know that I'm Nikkia. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I've owned my business now for 11 years. I'm a thriver. I'm a proud thriver. Oh my God. I am a proud thriver. Thrive changed my life, completely changed my life. I'm so into health and wellness, and it's so important. Yeah, it's so important. It really is. So I deal a lot in health and wellness and mental health and child sexual abuse. I am all over the board. So I'm just an everyday woman. I'm you. I tell everybody I can find a piece of me in everybody. So yeah.
I love it. Oh my God. So before we go any further, I see a picture behind you. Now, is that a picture of yourself?
Yes.
I gotta ask. Oh my goodness.
Okay. I love it. You're a natural. Okay, Oprah. Can I go ahead and speak that on you? So this picture, can you guys see that picture? Let me move back. So this is a picture. Hey, that part. So this picture at the top says, "What's that sticker?" And as you can see, I have my DFT right here on my eye. And so I took this photograph for breast cancer awareness for Touch My Tatas. And I just happened to have my DFT right here that day and did that shot and loved it. And someone put it in a poster for me. And so, I ended up, that's me. That's me. That's one of my favorite shots. Yeah. So I'm in my office right now. This shot is in my office. And I tell people, you keep things in front of you to keep you inspired. Even I have to still do that. So yeah, that's when you walk in my office, that's like the first thing you see. It's like, yeah.
Oh, that's a good picture. That is a dope picture. Like, I love it. I think I saw it on one of your pages too, and I saw it, and I'm like, "Oh, all right, get it."
It took a while to have that confidence right there, I tell people, believe it or not, though, Shy, believe it or not, I'm shy. I am really shy.
Me too, but you'll never know.
You'll never know it. Like when I get on camera, it's like totally different. But I tell people outside of the camera, I'm such an introvert. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
that.
such an introvert. Yeah. So,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
so who was Nikkia before Thrive?
Oh God. Before Thrive. So a little bit about my background. I want to like, I don't know how long our show is, but I can talk to you forever. Your personality is just great.
Get it.
But yeah, so before Thrive, just to give you guys a little bit of background. So I'm a mother. At the time, I was a single mom of 3 boys. And health-wise, I was horrible. I had no energy at all, none whatsoever. Had always struggled with my weight, like since I was young. I struggled with my weight since I was young, and it just got worse like after my second child. And then my third child, it was like my body. I had my third child late in life, and just to kind of like space my kids out so you know how crazy I was, right? So I had my first son. I was a teenage mom. Shout out to all the successful teenage mothers. Right, you can still do it. You can still do it. I don't care. So right, and then so my oldest son is 24, my middle son is 19, and then my baby is 12.
Oh my
So
goodness.
very far apart, right?
Yeah.
So very far apart in age. And so I looked up one day and I was, I had all the stresses of a single mom, all the stresses. Like I worked all the time. At this time, I did not own my business. I worked outside of my house 60, 70 hours a week. I traveled all the time. And it was just me. And when we're moms and we're single, we have to make it all work. You're the mom, you're the dad, you're the everything, you're the counselor, you're the everything. And so it's hard to stop and look at you and what you need because you're trying to be there for your kids. And I looked up one day and I was 406 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 406 pounds. Everything I ate, every feeling I ever had. So I always tell people it starts mental. It's very much it's very much mental. To feel good, I would eat. When I felt bad, I would eat. No matter what the feeling was, for me to get that gratification, food was my addiction. I tell people all the time, I'm addicted to food. You don't just wake up one day and be 406 pounds. That comes from, some type of depression, some type of something. You have to address the core of that. It's not the weight. I always tell people most of the time it's not the weight. It's usually the trauma, because what's at the core of depression? Trauma. So it's usually that has that there. So before Thrive, before I was even introduced to Thrive, that was my life. I was a working single mom, just trying to make it. And then one day I ended up starting my business. That had started, I got my business off the ground. And one day, just to make a long story short, one day I walked in on one of my sons being molested. And I walked in on my son being molested. And from there, my life went down. Rock bottom.
Goodness.
So completely rock bottom. And I fell into, I probably already had depression. But that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I went into a very chronic depression, anxiety, and I also live with PTSD as well. So that's why when people ask me about weight, I always tell them you have to address the mental first. Because if not, the weight will go nowhere. The weight is just a side effect of whatever you're going through. So you have to address that first. And then when I decided to relocate to Florida, I was living in Atlanta when it happened, and I decided to relocate to Florida. And I got to Florida and thinking I was going to have a support system when I got here. And I didn't. So it was just me and my son, like on an island, because I tell people all the time, when it comes to child sexual abuse, and especially inside of the family, most families don't address it. They hide it. You know what I mean? And so it's better to sweep it under the rug. So it was that type of situation, with my family. And I just sunk further and further and further into depression, to the point where I couldn't bathe, couldn't get out the bed, couldn't, like, my days, I couldn't even take my son to school. It was that bad for me. And it was just really, really bad. And I'm going to tell you, it is what I call a superwoman for real, Janetta Joseph. she is really Superwoman. Like, I'm telling you, that is like, she say Wonder Woman, I say Superwoman. Like, she is just like all of the above, right? Because I can't tell you how I met her, Shaw. I have no idea. We were not friends. We were not, we didn't know each other. We didn't have mutual friends. We didn't have nothing. It's like we appeared in each other's lives out of nowhere. And she started talking to me. She had followed my story because I had started a nonprofit named called Scream. And she was following my story, and she knew my story. She knew what I was going through. And even when I was smiling, she knew I was having just a horrible time. And one day she came in my inbox and she offered me Thrive. And it's like, no. And so, yeah, I'm just being honest. I was like, no, I'm not in a position for nobody to sell me nothing. I'm not in a position, girl, I could care less about a freaking patch. Like, no. I'm just trying to make it every day. Like, forget a patch. Like, seriously. And I'm like, no. So time went on. She did not pressure me. She's just like, whatever. Okay. All right. Kept checking on me regardless. Kept checking on me. She was just like, how are you doing today? Like, you know, every now and then she'll get in there. And then one day she said to me, I'm going to send you this. This is just for me. I'm going to send it to you. And I gave her my address and she sent me a sample. And I did not take it. It sat in my kitchen for like 3 months. For like 3 months. So for those of you who are like, okay, go ahead, send me this sample. I'm not taking this anyway. I just want to shut you up. Like, that was me. Like, go ahead and send me this sample. And so she sent me the sample, and it sat there. And one day, for those of you who deal with depression, I live with depression. Depression is like a light switch. I tell people it's like one of those things. You can be sitting here having a conversation, and the next second somebody turns on a light switch and your whole mood is in the dump. And so one day I had a very bad depression episode. It lasted for about 6 days. And one of my cousins, he came over and he was like, yo, like, you got to get up. Like, I get it. I understand what's going on. I understand, but you got to get up. You can't just, like, I literally was to the point where I tell people all the time, that was the very first time that I ever even entertained suicide. And the only thing that stopped me was I always used to think my son would find me. So I tell people, you know, always check. And I'm the strong friend. I'm the strong sister. I'm the one everyone comes to. I'm the one who keeps it together for everybody. You know, how they say, check on your strong friends. Absolutely check on your strong friends. And so he was like, you got to get up. And I just really, really, like, I remember days praying to die. I was so depressed, like, just take me. Like, it was just like everything had happened with my kids and I just did not. I'm 406 pounds. I'm laying there. I can't breathe. I have no energy. I can barely get up to just cook dinner and then be done with it. Not to mention my 12-year-old Alex is autistic. So not only am I a single mom at this point, my son is special needs. So anybody with a special needs child completely understands that that's a stress all in itself. And so he was like, he went in the kitchen and he's like, you still haven't taken this? And I'm like, taking what? He's like, this thing that this girl sent you from. And I'm like, no. He was like, okay, well, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? You're at your worst. The worst point you've ever been in your life. Like, what do you have to lose? You can't go anywhere but up. Try it.
Absolutely.
That was my first. I hadn't eaten anything. I'm like, okay, fine. I go, I get the 2 capsules. It's early in the morning. As I'm in the kitchen taking this, he's in the house, like, opening up all my blinds. I hadn't seen the sun in like 6 days. Like, all my blinds are closed and everything. So he's opening up the blinds and I'm like, okay, let me take this. So I take it, I wait, I take my 2 capsules and I'm like, okay, maybe about 10 minutes into my capsules, I'm feeling like, okay, like I feel something, but let me not jump to conclusions because It's something like I don't want to get hyped up, and it is not really nothing, right? So I'm like, okay, all right, cool, something. So 20 minutes later, I go in, I take my shake, and in the sample packs comes the apple pie. We have so many different flavors now, but it's apple pie that used to come in the samples, and so I do the apple pie, and I'm like, okay, it really tastes like apple pie. Okay, I can do this. I take the shake, it's apple pie, and then I get my sticker. And the sticker that I have, I started off with the I am stickers. And I don't know if Janetta did this on purpose. I never asked her, but she sent me the ones that she sent me said, I am brave. I have courage, and I'm thriving. And so I put the one on that says, I am brave. And I put my DFT on, and I'm like, okay, maybe about 15, 20 minutes into it, I'm just like, okay, well, what am I feeling? Like, I'm feeling something, and I'm just like, okay,
what is this?
What is this? What is this feeling? Like, what is this? And then now you're talking about going from being in the bed completely for a week to up and like cleaning the kitchen. I used to live in a townhome. I cleaned my townhome from top to bottom. Went and picked my son up from school, just little things that I was not able to do. And I'm like, okay. Now I still was a skeptic. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, let me just keep doing it. Day 2 came. I did it again, day 2. And I'm like, okay, maybe it's something in this sticker. Maybe it's something in this sticker. Maybe I need to, it's a little something going on. Let me reach out to my girl, because she onto something. She is onto something. Day 3 came, and I'm like, that's it. I'm hooked. Now, this is 3.5 years ago. I've been thriving for 3.5 years. So 3.5, yeah, I am a long time thriver. But even before I became, people look at me now and they're like, she's, a promoter for Lavelle. I was just a customer for 3 years. I never promoted, never did anything. I was just a customer. And I like to tell people that because I understand the skepticism that goes along with trying something new. And so, yeah, and I started. And from that day, I have never stopped thriving. And I found myself just the mental clarity. I tell people thrive is not, if you have depression or anxiety or PTSD, it is not for that. But the mental clarity, it doesn't cure that. The mental clarity that comes from it, though, it allows you to address whatever is going on. Sometimes, like, I couldn't think clear. It was like, I just needed to be able to think clearly to make the next step to do something. And just the mental clarity alone that I got from it, the energy, like I am a avid white label, black label girl. But I always have a black label or white label on every single day, even if I have something else on. Like right now, I'm dropping 15 pounds, so I'm on burn right now. And that's what I started off with. When I ordered my first pack, I started off with burn because I was trying to lose weight. And I always tell people, like with burn, with anything that you do, you have to change your lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Like you can't say, oh, I want to thrive and I still want to eat McDonald's. Oh, I want to thrive. You'd be surprised. Like people think, nothing's a magic wand. But the one thing, and I tried everything. I tried Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. I'm telling my age right now. I'm talking about, I tried everything, and nothing. Right. Nothing got me to where I needed to be, to where and I started taking it. And then I tell people I'm 3.5 years in now. And, it was the best decision I ever made in my life. Like I tell people, if I never made that decision when I got here, just changing my entire lifestyle, addressing my mental health, addressing my health and wellness, period. Like I can't say enough about Thrive. I'm not, I tell people I love telling my story because I'm like a walking Thrive story. Like my life is a Thrive story, and it's real, and it's different when you had to watch somebody else, or you're looking at a before and after picture, but when it's you that actually went through it and actually saw that transformation, it's different. So I tell everybody, if you're not thriving, that's the first negative. Like that's the first thing. Like if you're not thriving, like you're I'm not saying nothing's not going to change, but what I'm saying is, not to mention, I tell everybody, thrivers are the sexiest people walking, period.
There you
go. Period. So yeah, like it's so dope. It's really dope. But yeah, so yeah, that was me before Thrive, and me now. Oh God, you see it. Like my life is totally different. I am a totally different person. And like when people see my before and after pictures, they're like, oh my God. Like
that was me. I looked at it. I was like, damn, what?
Completely, totally different person. And people don't understand. Hold on, let me fix my thing. People don't understand that, you know, that comes with work though.
Yeah.
You have to put in the work. You have to say to yourself, I want my life to change. It's not a diet. It's not something, you know, everybody has nutritional gaps. I don't care who you are. And until you fill those nutritional gaps and get yourself healthy, it doesn't matter. I always tell people, yeah, you're going to lose weight with Thrive simply because you're getting healthy. Anytime you get healthy, all the good things from it are going to show. And I tell people, anytime you're cheating, it's going to show. What you do in private shows in public. Mm-hmm. So when I talk to like my weight loss group, you know, women and stuff, I always tell them, you know, don't try to convince me. I was the one that used to lie about eating and say I was doing it right and wasn't doing it right. And, you know, all of those things. And yeah, so you can't lie to me. Trust me, I understand. But when I started thriving, I was just like,
your lives. I heard you say that on one of your lives. Like,
yeah,
I know it.
I know it. I know all the tricks, all the things that make people feel sorry for you, all the things that I know, all the tricks. You have to get serious. You got to get serious about your health.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to wake up, you know, we're not getting any younger. And especially women of color, people of color, period. Like we are so bad when it comes to that, but we're the highest in like heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure. And in our heads, to make us feel better, we'll say, oh, well, my dad had high blood pressure, so I got to have it. No.
No, it's not a gift. Like,
no. It's not. No, it really isn't. But, you know, that's how we look at it. So I tell people, you got to get serious about your health. And the very first way to do that is, one, you got to make up your mind. You got to make up your mind that you want to be healthy. And once you do that, order that pack. Like I tell people that Thrive, once you Thrive, the one thing about Thrive is it's not something you even have to try. I love when people try it, but it's like one of those things that you don't have to. Everybody who thrives gets better. I don't care who it is.
And they stay thriving too. Like they don't just come off.
I don't know any thriver that started and stopped.
Exactly.
And didn't at least go back, like for whatever reason. Because once you start thriving, I tell people, you don't know what it feels like to be healthy until you thrive. And so once you start feeling healthy and for some reason you stop, you're going to be like, oh, hold on. Let me go back because, I know what I'm supposed to feel like. You know, so that's why people ask me why. Yeah, Thrive is like, and then the good thing about it, you know what I tell people, because they're like, Nikkia, how much is it? That's always the, you know, the first thing. And I'm like, it's literally less than $5 a day for Thrive. Like, I don't know if you, if anybody has broken it down. But it's literally, it's like coffee.
It's a coffee.
It's like your cup of coffee. You probably pay more if you drink Starbucks like me, but you probably pay more. So it's higher. But I always tell people, and the other great thing about that is once you put 2 people up under you, your Thrive is free. I have been thriving for free for 3 years now.
Hey, I'm thriving free.
I was like, I don't have to buy a thing. Like, I tell people that all the time. You can actually get not have to pay for anything and just really get healthy, like for free. So like, why not? It's always like, why not? So that's who I was. And that's who I am now. So,
so a couple of people are just joining and they keep asking about the picture behind you.
Oh,
so, guys, that picture is Nikkia. That is her. Like,
that is me.
Story. Listen.
Yes, that is me.
Picture. You know,
that is me. Like Yeah, it's one of my favorite pictures. It's one of my, because I have another picture that I have with that picture. And I tell people, you have to remind yourself. That's my reminder of how far I come, because I gain weight too. I tell people I gain weight, and I know that 5 pounds can turn to 50 pounds quick.
Real quick.
So you have to stay on top of it. And I'd be like, if I want to keep them curves right, girl, no, I have to make sure I stay on top of it. But yeah. So yeah, that's me, babe. Everybody else, is that you? I'm like, yeah, that's me. So yeah, that's me. But
oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful, wonderful journey. Like it really has. I wouldn't try, I promise you, I wouldn't change my life for anything. Even with all the bad, I'll take all the bad, all the everything. For me to be where I'm at right now, I would do it all over again. So yeah, I thank God for it.
Like everybody needs to just respect their process and respect their journey.
Yeah.
There's one question that I ask everybody, and it's like, what keeps you inspired? Are you a reader? Do you read a lot of books? Like, what's on your reading list?
What keeps me inspired? I'm not. I'm a music person.
Oh.
I'm very artistic, as you can tell. I took that shot, for those of you who are asking. Everybody always asks me, oh my God, who took that picture? I actually took that picture. So, yeah, I actually took that picture. Like, so you know how everybody has those hidden talents? One of my hidden talents is I love art. So I love photography. I love to paint. I love anything that's art, anything that's music. I absolutely love it. And I make sure, because I do live with depression and anxiety and PTSD, my life is very calm. I make sure that my environment is calm. I make sure what keeps me inspired, the thing that keeps me inspired is my family. Like I look at my kids, I look at my son. My son is 12 years old and he's autistic, and he deserves the best version of me. I deserve the best version of me. And so that keeps me going, looking at where I come from. I always tell people, sometimes you got to stop and look at where you come from. Like God has brought me a long way, Shar, a long way. Just grace and mercy is the only reason I'm here. And I thank God for it. And I wouldn't change it. So that alone, just my story alone keeps me inspired. Just looking at everything he's done for me and where he's brought me from keeps me inspired.
I love that. I really love that. It's important when to know your why. Because even just taking Thrive and deciding like to do a business with Thrive, if you don't have a why, you'll just throw it away because it's not easy.
And that's with anything. I tell people that's with anything. What is your why for anything? And I had to, and you have to, and you'll be surprised of what your why may be. I tell people my why was freedom. I love my freedom. And I'm telling you, like the scariest thing in the world for me is to go work for somebody. I would probably die if I had to go clock in and work for someone. I've been an entrepreneur now for 11 years. I've owned my business. And even when I became a promoter for Lavelle, it was about freedom. I was used to my freedom by that time. And I wanted to add a residual income that still allowed me to have my freedom. And, and still have that residual income. And so that's why I always tell people, if you're looking for a good residual income, yeah, you can take Thrive, but why not make the money? I always tell people the difference between a promoter and a customer is one make money and one don't. Exactly. Like that's the only difference. Like it's almost crazy not to be a promoter. So yeah.
You're going to want to share your story because just like how you got started, I got started a little bit different in the sense that I saw Yessie on Instagram and I saw the patch and I got curious, so what is that? Because I'm always trying to do healthy stuff and whatever. So I'm like, let me see that. And, she gave me the whole spiel about it and stuff. And like you, I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, whatever, let me try it.
Right.
And I tried it. I'm like, I felt it, but I was like, nah, that's my head because she told me it's supposed to do that. So my head's going off. And then I'm like, the next day, and it kept going. I'm going to work, skipping to work, playing Christmas carols. And I'm like,
just a whole nother mood. Your skin be glowing. I'm talking about you just, yeah. A thriver is like, you can tell a thriver from a non-thriver.
Man. Everybody was looking at me like, what are you on? I'm just
Right.
like, some of what you're
Whole nother level, Shy. Whole nother level of life. Whole nother level of feeling good. Like you don't even know what it feels like to
Oh,
feel
God.
good until you
Oh,
thrive. So yeah.
you put it on and instantly you're just like, okay, let's get it. Let's
Let's
go.
get it.
Oh, my
Because
God.
I believe in it. I know I am, like I tell everybody, I'm a walking thrive story. Like I really am. I can be like the poster board for what it does. Like yeah, like right here. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh,
It's life changing.
it is.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
For those of you just joining, we're talking to Nikkia. We're talking about her Thrive story. For those of you who don't know what Thrive is, it's essentially a 3-step program that it makes you feel amazing. That's
Yes.
essentially what it is. And Nikkia has had an amazing weight loss story, like transformation, guys. And I'm gonna let
Mm-hmm.
Nikkia tell you how much weight she's lost. A
Oh yeah.
little bit that for those of you who are just joining so you can catch up.
Yes. So on Thrive alone, like, so I like to tell people, my story, like my full story with that. So I wanted to have weight loss surgery. I don't know if I ever told you that, Shar, but I wanted to have weight loss surgery and my insurance wouldn't pay for it.
Yeah.
I had to get down to a certain weight for my insurance to pay for it. They refused. And I guess it was like one of those things to see if you were serious. And I had to lose 126 pounds before they would say yes. And
Wow.
and I kept thriving until I did it. I thrived. So with Thrive by itself, 126 pounds total. I've lost 2 people, probably like 200 and some pounds. But yeah, but with just Thrive alone and just eating right and my normal, you don't have, the good thing about Thrive is so simple. You know what I mean? It's so simple. I think that's one of the reasons we all keep doing it, because everybody is just like, you do all these things to lose weight and you got to count these calories and do these meals and do these shakes and you can't do this and you can't do that. Thrive is simple. 1, 2, 3 capsules, 20 minutes, shake, patch. You're done for the day. Your entire day is done. You're ready for the whole day, and you just do that every day. It's the easiest thing ever. You know what I mean? And so I think that's what keeps it going. But yes, total with just Thrive before anything. Am I, just again eating right? Like I tell people, what you put in, you get out.
Yep.
What you put in, you get out. So got to be mindful of that too. But yeah.
That is true. Oh my goodness.
And even for those, I'll even go as far for those who have had weight loss surgery. If you are a weight loss surgery patient, because I get a lot of questions for them, it's almost detrimental for them to thrive because you already can't get the nutrition that you need. And so that is like the easiest. I remember my doctor, Dr. Perry, was like, don't ever stop doing that. Like, period. I don't care what happens. You have to keep thriving because it's one of those things where, you get every single thing that your body needs. And so I just tell everybody, make sure once you start though, man,
I know
it's addictive. It's obsessive.
My whole family is thriving. My whole family is thriving.
Oh yeah.
My
son, I tell people my 12-year-old. My 12-year-old makes his shakes, girl. He be so happy. He'd be so happy. He's so ready. My significant other, he's a truck driver. And even like being on the road, like they sit, look, everybody's gonna be like, oh my gosh, she told Shy. Like you heard it first. But like he's a truck driver. And even on the road, because they sit, all the time. Like that's the thing. And it's hard for them to get exercise and hard for them to get, like, even with that, like, it's amazing. His transformation is amazing. Like one day I'm going to have to do a before and after of both of us when we were young versus us now, because it is like, I actually did a photo of me and him just 4 years ago and now. And he was like, yo, like we look, a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's like, oh my God, like I can't believe that's us. Like the transformation is amazing. So
it is. Because
I
looked at your before and after pictures and I'm like, oh my God, like
yes,
you did that. Like
yeah. It's life changing. Absolutely life changing. Like I thank God for that product. Like it's just, yeah. I think I give my mom thrives. I thrive. My whole family. I don't have anybody in my family, I don't think, that thrives. Like my whole family is thrivers.
Everybody's on thrive for me. Like, listen, you gotta feel as good as I do, because the thing is, once you become a thriver and you experience this, like everybody sees a change too. Like everybody notices a change as well. So it's
Your
not
mood, everything. It's like, yeah, it is a different, you are a different person. It is like birthing a different person. You're nicer. You're just, women, we have our PMS moments. Boy, I'm telling you, everybody's like, oh my God, you're so nice. Even my son said to me one time, he was like, I feel like I have to get to know you again. I'm like, really? Really? Okay. Like you just become nicer. Like everything about you, you just feel, and when you feel good, it shows. It just, it really does. It just projects. How you feel projects. So a lot of times when we're unhealthy and we don't feel good and we don't have any energy, the easiest thing to do is to snap at people and to, be mad and upset all day and angry and yelling at the kids and, all of those things. Yeah. All of that changes when you start thriving because you feel good.
You feel
and it's
good.
Such a major life-changing thing when you feel good. You know what I mean? So yeah. Mm-hmm. So definitely you're doing your audience you're such an inspiration, and you're doing them such a favor, to even bring this to your channel. Yeah, that like if you guys have never looked at anything else she's done, like I hope this helps someone, because like, man, it is. I always tell people, if I change one person, I'm happy.
Absolutely.
If I get one person to, change their life, then I'm happy, and you have all of these people on your channel and on your page and all of those things because they trust you. And that says a lot about you. It really does. So just keep doing what you're doing, keep doing what you're doing, because we need this, especially people of color. We need this. We need us to show us, what it means to be healthy and get healthy, because the truth about it is it doesn't come to us often. I never in my life had heard of Lavelle, ever.
Me neither.
Yeah, had never heard of Lavelle ever. And it's sad. It's sad that we had never, as long as this company has been around, as long as this product has been around, we had never heard of it. And, that tells you something. Kind of like if you look at Lavelle's, Lavelle millionaire, Janetta Joseph, same thing. She's the first Black Lavelle woman, millionaire. And yeah, so that tells you something, you know what I mean?
Her story is incredible too, because she was on last week. And she's such an amazing person as well. Like,
yes,
such a beautiful soul. Like, we had a good time as well.
She's amazing.
It's amazing to see people of color in those positions. So when I come in the company and I look up, I see a Janetta, I see a Rodney, I see you. You know what I mean? Like, it told me that, okay, I'm starting from the bottom, but it's not far away. Like,
and it doesn't take a long time. That's the other thing too. Like I tell people, I hit every bonus that we have, everything. And even like I think my car bonus, I ended up getting my car bonus. I wasn't even with the company 60 days. So, and it was like, yeah. So, and it's one of those things, like I tell, that's usually the second highest bill in someone's home is their car note, and to have someone say, I'm going to pay this for you.
Listen.
What?
Listen, we know how. Listen, when somebody says, I'm going to pay your bill.
I'm going to pay a bill for you. On top of paying you, I'm going to pay your bill. And I'm still going to. Now, and I'm going to tell you the other thing with that. Let me tell you the other kick to that. With the car bonus too, like say, for example, you already have one of the cars that we offer. You can get the money instead of the car. Like, so it's completely up to you. Like I tell people, I drive a white Mercedes, so it has to be like white or black. So I already drove a white Mercedes before. And so because of that, it was like, oh, okay, well, guess what? Here you go. Here's the money. Just like that.
There you go.
What company does that? Like,
That's what I'm saying. I'm just
what
like,
company does that is insane. That's why I'm just like, what? Are you serious? I couldn't believe it when I seen it. I was like, what? Couldn't believe it. So yeah, it's just been amazing all around.
Oh my
Health
God.
wise, financial wise, just everything. And we're a family, Lavelle, like we're a whole family. Like I love our team is like amazing. I feel like we have the best team in the whole Lavelle family, but the Lavelle family is amazing.
Because I've met so many Lavelle people on Facebook, and you know, it's all, you know, they're always like showing love and doing stuff, you know. So it's kind of like, you know,
we support each other in everything. I tell people it's not just Lavelle. Like we are truly a family. It doesn't matter if someone's having a birthday. It doesn't matter if somebody's doing other ventures. It doesn't even matter. Like it's like you get this support system that is just positive and amazing. And even when you feel bad, like I'm telling you, like Jeanette, they'll pull up on you. Hey, where you been? You all right? Like what's going on? So yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So I tell anybody just to have that support system, just to have that, you know, that family environment, still be able to make great money, still be able to be healthy, get your family healthy, man, it is truly life-changing. It is life-changing. Yeah.
It is. And you know, once you join the family, they never leave you alone. So that's what I love. There's always help. Now, it's not necessarily easy. You have to work.
Right.
So that's why it's important to know your why. It's really important to know your why. So
and your why has to be bigger than your excuse.
Right there. Absolutely.
That's it. Your why has to be bigger than your excuse. If you can say, but that's not your why.
Nope. Because you're gonna say that all the time. Be like,
yep.
But I gotta do this.
But I have to. But even, you know, I tell people, even with me running a business, like I have my own business, and I was like, even with that, when your why becomes big enough, you make time. Everybody has 24 hours in the day. It's just what you choose to do with it. So yeah, you just have to, and you need a residual income. If this pandemic hasn't taught anybody anything,
listen,
you better have a backup.
You need multiple streams of income.
Like multiple. I don't care what, you need multiple streams of income, and good incomes too. That's not gonna, because that was my thing. I wanted residual income, but I wanted residual income that wasn't gonna take my freedom. And so that's it. And Lavelle was it. You know, I was like, what you mean? All I got to do is tell you how I feel? Like, that's it. Okay. You know, yeah, I can do that all day. So, yeah, so it was great, but definitely life changing. Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you have an IG account?
I do. Okay. I do. I have an IG account. My IG is called Thrive with Brooklyn. And it's on IG. It's called Thrive with Brooklyn.
No wonder I couldn't find you. I'm just like,
yes. So Brooklyn is my nickname. Brooklyn is my IG name. It's my nickname. And so everybody who is in like my weight loss groups and workout groups and all of that, everybody calls me Brooklyn. So my IG is listed up under Brooklyn. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I'm typing it here so people can go follow you.
Yes. And I'll make sure I tag it when I share this so they can have it. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. I was looking for you and I'm like, I cannot find her.
Everybody says that. Like, oh my God, I couldn't find you. I'm like, yeah. I was like, you can tell my followers who've been following me like from the beginning, because they're like, Nikkia, that's Brooklyn. My guys was like, that's BK.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah.
Are you from Brooklyn or?
I am not. The craziest thing is, so that name came from, I always got a story, right? But I had a significant other who passed away a long time ago. And I always tell people we fell in love in Brooklyn. That's where we fell in love, was Brooklyn. And so that was like one of the highlights of my life, one of the things that I held on to. And so when I had my transformation done, in that world, we name our sleeves. So everybody has a sleeve name.
Okay.
So I ended up naming my sleeve Brooklyn. So now everybody knows me from that. They're just like, that's Brooklyn. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's Brooklyn. So yeah, so it just kind of stuck after that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Just kind of stuck.
Listen, I love you. You and your stories are like, you just always keep it real all the time. And I'm just yeah.
You know, Char, I'm gonna tell you, as women, we need to be like that. Because I tell people when we're vulnerable like that, it gives permission to other women to be honest and open about their feelings. I think when we walk around like we have it all together, we relate in our brokenness, not in our successes. It's our failures and our brokenness that we relate to. So I always tell my audience, you know, I will always be honest and real with you, regardless of how bad it is, because somebody needs to know that there's light on the other side, regardless of what you're going through, that there's light on it. If you're in an abusive relationship, there's light, because I can tell you a story about this. If you've been through this with your kids, I can tell you a story about this. You know, I always tell it's about the journey. You know, and your journey could be a part of someone else's journey. So when we don't fulfill our part, you know, I always look at it like you're hurting someone. We're put here. Everybody has a story.
Yeah.
And holding it inside doesn't help anyone. Let that out.
Absolutely. Everybody has a purpose. And, you know, that's why I'm doing this Be Inspired, because, you know, it's not just about Lavelle or Thrive, but I feel like people need to know that their circumstances don't define them.
Nope.
You know, there's always a way out. There's always something you can do. And everybody has a different journey. They have a different process. Respect your journey and respect your
journey. And if you don't know what your purpose is, you know, I tell people, if you don't know what your purpose is, I asked God this one time. I said, I want to know what you know about me. That's what I wanted to know. Like, what is it? What's the secret about me that you know? Because I want to know that, you know, and if you don't know, I tell people, ask, because sometimes sometimes we'll get our gifts and our talents confused, you know, so, and you don't want to do that either. So, yeah.
So her IG is running across the bottom of the screen, guys, so you can actually connect with her on IG. She's a mom, you know, she's in a relationship. She broke it.
Look, finally. I was all anti-marriage. Somebody's going to be like, what? Yes.
Oh my God. And, you know, you can definitely, you know, when you see her pages and stuff like that, you definitely get inspired. I mean, a Black woman doing it and, you know, living her best life. And she's doing it. I always say, you know, live out loud. And
live out loud.
Right?
Yes.
Oh my God. Right. Listen, that's what that picture behind you is saying.
Right there. That picture screams freedom. I tell people, I'm so free. I'm so free. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh my God. It's been such a pleasure having you.
I was going to say that. It's been such a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you. Thank you. Anytime. This has been great.
For sure. I'm definitely going to have you come back. You have such a great vibe, such a great energy. And I mean, listen, you didn't have to come on here. And when I asked you, you were like, let's do it, girl. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
I love that.
I love you. I love you. You keep doing this. This is so dope. Everybody needs this. You keep doing it.
Thank you so much. And guys, in the comment section, I was reading your comments. I saw all your comments, just in case you're wondering. When I do these type of sessions, I kind of want to just focus on the person that I'm talking to as well, and not so much as read your comments unless it's a question for her. So if you have a question, please drop it in the comment section right now so I can ask Nikkia before she goes. Any questions you have whatsoever, just drop it in the comment section so I can so I can answer the question. Because I can't read everything that you guys write on here. So what questions do you have for Nikkia before she goes? Oh, one thing I forgot to ask you. So I started with the burn. So I feel like I'm a little bit of a junkie though, because now I have so many different kinds
Right.
of DSTs. So I
Do
got
what works for the moment. If you're focused on losing weight, burn is it. If you're focused on mental clarity, black or white label is it. So pick the DFT that fits the need.
I love the black or white label. They're so cute.
Oh yeah. The mental clarity from black and white label is amazing.
Oh my God. Let's see what's here. You know, thank everybody that came over, that Tough Man sent over to join the live. Really appreciate it. Sorry I didn't get to acknowledge you individually, but thank you guys for coming over and watching. Like I said, when I do these, I really like to focus on the guests and really get into the story so that you guys can actually get value out of it. So that's why, when I do these sessions, guys, I'm sorry if I don't read all your comments, but I do see them and I do appreciate you guys coming over, you know. I want to say, Nico Nice, thank you so much for coming over. Drugs, thank you for coming over. These names are very, very unique, Nikkia.
Very unique. I was going to say that. Okay. Hi, guys, and thank you.
Wow. Active Choopsy, Vicky C, Tough Man, everybody, please, thank you for coming over. If I didn't call your name, Jewel 16, you know, thank you so much for watching. This is where we're going to close off. Nikkia's Instagram is running across the screen. Please go add her on Instagram. And if you didn't get to pose your questionnaire, you can always ask her there questions about health and wellness and all that great stuff. Thank you guys for coming on. Nikkia, stay on so I can get off and then we can have a chat afterwards.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you guys so much. Thank you again, Nikkia.
You're welcome. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.